Hello everyone, welcome to this week's weekly recap from January 20 to January 24. Let's go! Starting off Wednesdays, we continue our Tales of Zestiria playthrough with a bunch of leveling. After doing that, we went off to search for the second Medusa boss, and we found her at the abandoned Horza town. After beating her, we do a few other little things, and we actually tracked down Maven at some ruins in the Gangland ruins. After that, we explore those ruins, you do our usual things, walk through it, get an iris gem, some other beautiful things. After that, we did try another Crucible ruins, and we actually beat it for once. After that, we followed up by one round of a Gladiator DLC arena, and after that, we went to fight Hellwolf again, since we failed so horribly the last time. This time, luckily enough, we finally beat him, and actually we get to meet Maven again, and we find out he's the storyteller. After he tells us we are still missing a bunch of iris gems, so we go to search for that, and we end up in the Arctic ruins, where we finally find the golden key for the golden chest that we finally can open right now. And of course, as always, there's a mutant Hellion in the unexplored ruins. After that, outside of the ruins, there's a third Medusa boss, which we also beat without much of a problem, and that's where we ended on the Wednesdays. And coming down to the Thursdays, the first thing we did actually is finding more information about the Medusa bosses, because they didn't were killed, they fled. And we found out they were in the Glaven Basin. We tried to go there, but we were still restricted the access. So instead, we started doing some old side quests where we started off before, and like the giant elephant Hellion, if you remember him. And this time, we went for him, and we beat him after getting a bunch of levels up. After that, we get sent to the Liberty Woods for some explorer, and also he has an iris gem. But to get it, we first had to beat this giant-ass stone Hellion boss. After that, we go to Pendrago, and we find out who the murderer is in Pendrago, and it turned out to be the priest. And apparently he gives us the final iris gem after finally doing that. Returning to Maven, who is the storyteller, he tells us a story about the past, or better said, he shows it to us, about Mortalis, Hellwolf, Camlin, and the origin of Mikleo and Soray. And of course, do not forget him, the former shepherd. So after that, we have to find Maven, and we end up killing him, because what he didn't tell us, for breaking his oath, he lost his immortality. So after that, we did find some more info about the Cats Village, and another war breaks out. In 3 different sections of the game, we fight both Lunar, Simone, who is illusioning herself as Sorgay, and also Alicia learns the truth about Molthron. We also end up fighting, and we end up killing her. And on the Fridays, which is sad, but it is the final day of the game. The first thing we do is to Glaven Basin, where we fight this huge-ass dragon, followed by a long-ass cutscene. And Soray admits that he's gonna be the vessel of Mortalis, which will most likely cause him to be in a long sleep. As that, we did enter some random dungeon, explored it, do some user stuff, nothing really special. After that, if you remember the former 2 Medusa fights, this time we fight them together and it was pretty much a double fight. Was not that much of a problem. And after that, we head back to Alicia, who appears to be under attack. We get once again a little boss fight, and apparently Grandpa has went off to Camlin to defend the village. After that, we went off for some final side quest bosses. Most of them we failed, like for example the Kong boss at the museum. We did get the legendary Wyvern boss, which we killed. Then we get the Grandpa pipe back from his house. We show to this cats to get access to the Cat's Island. We get a few little items over there, and we tried to fight this Dark Turtle, which was impossible because we were way below the level. So after that, we went back to the ruins under Alicia, where we find the path to Camlin. Simone tries to illusion us, where we fight first to our fire earth self and armortizing, and not much later we fight the wind and water armortize. Not that much of a problem in the second one. The first one was absolute hell. After that, we finally fight Simone herself. Not much that of a problem as always, and we arrive at Camlin. What we pretty much did, we escaped all the monsters. We just ran past everything that's possible, and that's when we finally get to the top of it all. We fight Hellwolf, the final boss battle. The first battle had 1 or 2 loses, but we got back from it, followed up by his armortize with Mortalis. That one we did in 1 try, and that's where we witnessed the final cutscene, and we ended the game. I really wish I could have done more in the game, but hey, it's simply as it is. And what I've seen, you have to do multiple playthroughs to completely 100% the game. Unless this was the Fridays, and that's where we end off. And coming to the Retro Saturdays, it is our second and final day of also Conkers Bad Fur Day. I mean, finishing 2 games in a week? Hell yeah. So nonetheless, it was a long ass stream. I went on for 7.5 hours because I wanted to finish the game so badly. Nonetheless, we started off in the dinosaur area where we had to hatch a dino to offer him to open his big thing. Followed up by entering the Rocky Solid Club, you know, with the heavy disco music and whatnot. We pretty much had to piss out everyone. I take that literally. We really had to take a piss. So we could save Barry, and we end up this gangster guy who wants to carry a bomb somewhere to solve a little problem here. This causes us to flood the entire area with lava, and we get to this hell lava surf game, which took us like half an hour to complete. After that, we get to the Colosseum where we have to ride a dino and eat up all the little cavemen. And also the final boss of that fight, we got to bite his butt cheeks off. Just because we can, you know. So after that, we went back to the beginning area where we all started up, and the hive is once again stolen, so of course we have to get it back. After that, we get to this haunted house area where our ancestor lives, who actually wanted to kill us. Nonetheless, he changes into a bat. He wants us to kill villagers. After he gets killed by himself by drinking too much blood and ends up in the grinder, we have to get 3 keys, which also took a long time. When we got that, we escaped it, and we ended up in the war area where we had to push these 2 guys with TNT on the back to 2 different lanes. Didn't take that long, thankfully enough. And after that, we get knocked out, and we actually get sent into war by force. Nonetheless, we had to jump through some lasers, kill teddies. We rescue this little squirrel called Rodent with a very nice armor thing. And we get this little part where we have to ride a tank, which is awesome. We also had to destroy a tower by hitting a few specific little things. And after that, we fight this crazy girl puppet, who is actually a giant-ass beer boss. Then this countdown happens, and we have to escape once more. After that, getting to the final area, after everything is being destroyed, we get forced to reach the job and robbing a bank, Matrix style. After that, we find nothing more than a Panther King being murdered. We get sent into space, and we have to fight this alien. And that's, after that, pretty much ending off the game. And of course, with Tales of Zestiria finished, we finally started off a new game, and it was Saints Row 4. For those that didn't know it, it's pretty much GTA, but really, really dirty. So of course, we start off the intro area, we are some super agent, and we save the world from a nuclear war. After that, we get to the create a character, which took us a little bit, because we made like some sort of a Jesus character. And we get a few choices. We fucked cancer, we punched a dickhead, and that means we punched a dick. Nonetheless, we agreed to party after that, and our country gets invaded by the aliens. After that, we get the little Space Invaders references with the turret thing. And then we get put into a simulation of a 1950 with happy music and a city filled with language probation. So you're not allowed to go like, fuck you and fuck that or whatever kind of things. Nonetheless, to escape it, we had to make some huge chaos, and we actually head up back to the original Steelport simulation where we could use guns or whatever. So nonetheless, we had to go to the gun store, buy a gun, we have to fight off the police, and we cleared our first alien flashpoint. After that, we did a few little side quests where we buy some clothes, we upgrade our car, and we got our first few data clusters, which causes us to learn the super jump and super speed. After that, we fight our first specials in, which we integrate with, and we get another Ice Blast power. Nonetheless, after collecting some clusters to upgrade everything we had so far, we escape the simulation. We are naked in this spaceship, which is most likely a Matrix little thing as well, and well, we have to go to the landing pad because Kinsey would save us. So after that, we get this little flying part, which the music of What is Love, Baby, Don't Hurt Me. For all that probably know it. So nonetheless, after that, we see our Earth being blown up, and we head back into the simulation to try and stop the aliens from the inside. After that point, a little friend of us joins, and he helps me collect a bunch of clusters, and we do some little side activities, a few flashpoints. Also, we finished a couple of the main quests. We did finish off one little DLC conquest, and that was Enter the Dominatrix. And of course, that was it for this week's weekly recap. As you might have noticed in any of the day clips, the green screen has returned, and you might also have noticed in the beginning of the screen. Nonetheless, if you liked the video, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Would you like to see more, or would you want to see more, hit up the subscribe button. If you want to check last week's recap, check that video down below. And as always, if you would like to see me live sometimes, then click the little Twitch thing on the left, and follow my channel to get a notification when I go live. And as always, my friends, thank you for watching. This is Ratkanos, and I'm out. I'll see you guys in next week's recap.